right, people. So we have a new film on Netflix, and it's a little creepy. It's a little kooky, right? It's called Hypnotic. Yes, it's about someone getting hypnotized. I think it's kind of answering that worst case scenario, that deep rooted fear a lot of people have with the notion of being put under. You know what I mean? So it is directed by Matt Angel and Suzanne Coote. Coote? Yeah, I think that's right. It's written by Richard D. Ovidio. Produced by Michael J. Lalesi. Cinematography is John S. Stanley. It's edited by Brian Allberg. Music is Nathan Matthew David. And oh my gosh. Feel like a sneeze coming on, you feel me? Our cast, we have Kate Siegel, who's playing Jenn Thompson. Then we have her best friend, Amy, who's played by Jessie Fraser. We have Amy's husband, Scott, who's played by Luke Rodriguez. We then have Brian, an ex of Jenn's, who's played by Jamie M. Kalikaka. And we have got Dr. Colin Mead, who's played by Jason O'Mara. Yes. Detective Wade Rawlings, who's played by Jew Hill. We've got Gina Kelman, who's played by Lucy Guest. Tabby, who's played by Devlin Dalton. Right. We have Andrea Bowen, who's played by Stephanie Cudmore. Yeah, that's our main group of peoples. And the gist of the film is this: a young woman seeking self-improvement enlists the help of a renowned hypnotherapist. But after a handful of intense sessions, she discovers unexpected and deadly consequences. Bah, bah, bah. So I think it opens up, right? We've got a security guard looking at cameras. She gets a call. It's told, hey, you go do your rounds. I'll come down and cover you. Right? So I think it's very, it seems sedate, nothing crazy. But we then have a woman looking very frantic. She's in an office and she's calling the police, right? Being like, I think someone's watching me. I need help. I think, something's going on. And, she's waiting for the police to come back to her. And instead of just waiting, right? So she gets up, obviously, and goes to leave. And you're expecting something crazy to happen at that moment in time, but it doesn't. And we see her get into a lift. And as she's, going in the lift, like just before, right, the lift doors are opening, you think, someone's going to grab her. Or just before the lift doors are going to shut, you think someone's going to stick their hand in and get her. Nothing. So she's in the lift, she's going down. And then she gets a phone call. And that's when the craziness starts to happen. right? But here's the thing. I feel from the name of the film, you understand that what we're seeing probably isn't what we're seeing. You know what I mean? Like, which is a bit of a shame because I get it, right? It's a nice little way to throw people off, but you've called the film Hypnotic. So it's hard to come out the gate like that and think, oh, people could be fooled by this thing. Because, yeah, it's just not going to work. Which, yeah, as I said, look, it is a shame. It is a shame because, I'm definitely all about that shit. You know what I mean? Something a little bit different, something a little interesting. You know, that's always always a good look, right? But yeah, not quite as convincing as maybe they want it to be. But hey ho, what can you do? What can you do? Right? What can you do? Now we then get on to Jenn. Um, yeah, we have us like speaking with Amy and all of this, and then she turns up to a party. Right, turns up to a party, and we get this whole Brian's here too, and it's this whole kind of thing, and you're wondering what's going on. Now, I do feel what it was weird about this was Amy and Scott, the interplay between Amy and Scott in this kind of thing, like, oh, he fucked up, and oh, it's all he, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of dumb, right? It's kind of dumb when you then find out what the actual situation was. You know what I mean? Because I mean, everything's getting played like, oh, it's this big, but then when you find out what actually happened, you're like, all right, okay. You know what I mean? That's fine. Yeah, I'm not really, yeah, that doesn't throw me. I'm not like, ooh. So it's just like, all right, boom. So yeah, the film kind of moves on, and Amy is pressuring Jenn to go use a hypnotherapist. Now, the hypnotherapist was at the party, and how to get like that's weird, right? That's weird. Then the way he's, you should see me, you should see me, you should, like you're doing like, all right, it's kind of weird. So you just think weird, 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 weird. Which again, I don't know, right? If that's necessarily the way to play it, because I don't think you want everyone just straight out the gate, like, the hypnotherapist, you know what I mean? But yeah, now things happen, and I will say, right, going between the sessions and being under and all of that, it is kind of played pretty well, right? So knowing what's the session and what isn't and all of this, like flipping around like that. Yeah, I feel they kind of handled that pretty decent. Pretty decent. Now, there are these huge, huge leaps that you have to take, right? To believe that some of this could actually happen. It is a bit of an ask. And then we do get that thing, right? Where you have all this craziness happening, but only one person figures it out, right? And then they find one cop who's the only cop, the police. And you're like, I mean, really? Like, is this what, really? We're doing this? But again, it's not too bad, right? It's not too bad. And I will say, there is a moment towards the end when like this thing happens and this big showdown, and you'd be like, hey, in that state, you can't tell me that. And I did like the fact that they didn't do that, right? I did like the fact that, yeah, they didn't play it like that in the end. So I was like, all right, cool, cool, cool. And I think the end isn't too bad to some extent, but they do kind of wrap it up too nicely, right? Too easy, too safe, right? It's just this suddenly, and you say, oh, you're just like, come on, man, come on, because I think with this thing that she's trying to get over, to then have it, this crazy thing, this real hurdle, to then where she is at the end over really not much time, and you'd be like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know, because it seems like you didn't cover that shit. You know what I mean? So if you didn't cover that shit, then how you be, you know? That's my thing, right? Yeah, there's these weird jumps, these weird kind of things, and there are some stuff. There's stuff in the film, right, that we're meant to suddenly believe as well, right? It's like, I was watching you, and like all of this kind of thing. It'd be like, all right, but aren't you working? Like how? So we're to believe that are you following, or did you know that? Did you assume they were doing this thing? It was just like, right? So we're believing that all of this stuff, and yes, the twist in the police officer's house was, yeah, that was fun, but again, it's like, oh man, that's a stretch. Right? That is a stretch, for that. Come on, man. So yeah, there's these things that are going down, and it's all a little. It is a little far-fetched, right? Especially the inception part. Especially the inception part. You're like, ooh. Now, so I would say Hypnotic, if you can separate yourself from reality, right? If that you find that easy to do, and you can just watch it for the goofy shit that it is, then you'll enjoy it, right? It's okay. But if you're that motherfucker that when you watch something, you're just instantly thinking like, yo, okay, but if they do that, then how would they do that? And wait, they said this, but then further earlier on, didn't they say that? Right? If you're that fucker, then yeah, you're gonna have problems with this for sure. I don't know. I think if you enjoyed, good, there was a film recently, which I believe we did talk about, Intrusion, right? If you enjoyed that, then I think you might enjoy this, right? I think this might be your bag. Um, like, yeah, if you like that crazy shit, you know what I mean? Then I think this would definitely talk to you. There was that TV series, I feel, that kind of dealt with some therapy and an affair and all of this shit, right? I think that was the case, right? And yeah, I think that probably speaks to it. So depending on what you like, people, Hypnotic may very well be the thing for you, but it is on Netflix. So yeah, if you think that you want a little therapy session, then mosey on across.